up at the sky there's some dark clouds. That's one negative about riding a four-wheeler is you're out in the elements. But that's a good thing about them too. Just fresh, everything's fresh, a little rain, cold rain. It was supposed to be done today, nice and sunny, but hopefully tomorrow and the rest of the week is going to be awesome. But just kind of running down this trail. This is basically the hook, I would call this the hook and ladder trail number 1 over to Cameo Cliffs. So we're going to Cameo Cliffs, which you've seen on a previous video of mine that was when I was in the Jeep. We cut across the Cameo Cliffs. But this is just a fun ride. Skip got his new 4-seater today, and this is kind of the shakedown ride, easy, nothing major, Moab wise, you know, that he needs to go try it out on. But he's played with the suspension a little bit. It's got the live valve shocks, and hard, medium, and soft. He had it on soft, and it was beating him to death. It was like it was hard, but we had him cycle it a couple of times, and now it's working like it should. The soft is soft. So he's liking that a lot better. The other thing is we've got way too much air in his tires. I mean, he normally runs 8 pounds in his Zillas on beadlocks, and I don't know why Kawasaki tells you to put 20 or 22 pounds in them from the factory, but it's way too much. I mean, you don't need anywhere near that. Now, if you're out on the asphalt, yeah, I like to have a little air in the tires on the asphalt, but when you're in the dirt, I mean, even with non-beadlocks on that, I would say he'd be very safe to run down to 12 pounds. Run that at 12 out in the dirt. But anyway, so that's kind of where we're at today. Still raining on me. Trying to outrun it a little bit. But we'll see if we can. It's right on my donkey, it looks like. He's got a roof. They're sitting in there in the roof. Nice and toasty. Oh well. Us poor people have to go without a roof sometimes. No, but I'm truly enjoying riding this Polaris 850. I've actually just bought it last fall and haven't ridden it much, and pretty impressed with the ride. It's riding well, it's soft, it's cushy, good suspension, comfortable seat, lots of torque, lots of power. I love that. When I got a new four-wheeler, I wanted a V-twin, and pretty much the only ones that make it's Can-Am and Polaris primarily. I guess Kawasaki's Brute Force is also a V-twin, but it's a 750. And I wanted a little bit. I didn't really care about the 1000, but I wanted at least an 850. And it's just fun once in a while to be able to hammer down a little bit and have some fun. The other nice thing about these two is power steering. Once you have one with power steering, you will never go back, because I'm filming with one hand and driving with one hand, and it's just, you can truck down the trail. Not as good as if you had two, I would say, but it's pretty nice and pretty easy to ride down the trail and have just a nice little walk. So we just barely here. This is where we just got onto the Cameo Cliffs Trail. That's where it starts. So the rest of this from here on out is going to be Cameo Cliffs, back over towards LaSalle. And then I'm not sure, once you cross the highway there, the LaSalle Highway, I'm not sure what that trail is called, if anything. I think it turns into Strike Ravine. But we're going to be over there soon. So we still got a couple cool things to show you here along the way. And the rain seems to be tapering down just a lot blacker back that way. Just getting sprinkled on now. But this is a fun trail too. And I'm ready for the clouds to clear and the sun to come out, and just have a nice afternoon sunset cruise here in Moab, Utah. Most people, I don't know why, they don't come to this hook and ladder trail. Nobody's ever out here, and it's a fun trail system. All right, I better quit talking. I got a hill to climb here. I've been in two-wheel drive all day high. I'm gonna go to low to climb this so I can talk to you while we're climbing, but I'm still in two-wheel drive. A bunch of GoPro attachments at the house. I just didn't think to bring them this trip, so kind of holding it up and filming. One-handed driving and two-wheel drive up the old slick rock. Coming across the top of Cameo Cliffs. This is that little ridge section that looks straight off in the bottom. Straight off that side, straight off that side. And it's not too bad. We're gonna fall off that. I normally don't have sponsors because I'm just a little guy, but today's sponsor is David Barker from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And David has donated 2 NRS straps to hold my cooler on. How cool is that? I got a little cooler with me today, and David's straps are holding on my cooler. So thank you, David, today's sponsor. You guys can't get through. Four-wheelers can, right up that.